The last law school admission cycle had 76,000 applicants, the highest number since 2011, and about an 18% jump from the year before. Of course, seats themselves didn't jump 18%, but the competition did. And so if you're applying to law school right now, this is one of the most crowded environments in over a decade. Now, here is the mistake most people make when they hear that. They either panic or they say, I'll just work harder. But in a crowded cycle, working harder is not the advantage. I want you to keep one idea in your head the entire time. Your goal is not to be impressive. Your goal is to be easy to admit, easy to defend in a committee. That is it. Now let's talk about how you actually do that. The first step is the LSAT. Logic Games is of course off the test, which means your score is now driven almost entirely by two sections: logical reasoning and reading comprehension. And most students respond in one of two bad ways. They either keep doing random questions and hoping volume fixes everything, or they panic and overhaul their entire study plan. Spoiler, neither one works. You've got to treat logical reasoning and reading comp like two different sports. Same gym, focus, stamina, and consistency, but different sports with different tracking systems. In logical reasoning, every miss falls into one of two buckets. Either you misunderstood the argument, or you understood it, yet you still picked a trap. If you misunderstood it, that is a structural problem. If you understood it but you missed it, that is a problem of discipline. In reading comp, same idea. You either misread or you lost the structure. Now, most people don't lose points because they can't read. They lose points because they never built a map. After each paragraph, you should be able to summarize what just happened in a few words: old theory, new evidence, author critique, or shift in viewpoint. If you can't label the paragraph, you didn't really understand it in the first place. The new LSAT rewards boring consistency. Not brilliance, but consistency. Second big thing is you need a mistake journal, an error log, or an error bank, whatever you want to call it. Most applicants will do hundreds of questions this month, but very few will systematically study their own mistakes. Every wrong answer should produce a rule. For example, if I can't restate the conclusion, I don't pick. Or if an answer introduces a new topic, it is suspicious. Or in strengthening questions, I identify the assumption bridge before reading answers. Your mistakes are patterns. Once a week, you want to ID your top 3 patterns and train directly against them. That's how you separate yourself from 76,000 other applicants. The third factor is your application. I want you to stop trying to be impressive. Admissions is not asking, is this person inspiring? They're asking, will this person succeed here? And your personal statement should answer one question clearly. What kind of lawyer are you becoming, and what proof do we have? Not passion, but proof in your resume, in your application, why this matters to you and why you're pursuing law school right now, what you've actually done consistently, and why law school is the next logical step. If someone can summarize your goals in one clean sentence after reading your file, you win. That's what being easy to admit looks like. And of course, let's talk scholarships. Cost is driving decisions more than ever before with the elimination of the federal Grad Plus loans, which means your leverage matters. You've got to apply to schools where your LSAT is at or above the median. Not just where you might get in, but where you create competing offers. You want to compare employment outcomes, bar passage rates, and total cost of attendance. Don't just choose a law school solely based on the rankings. And you want to make yourself strategically valuable by applying with numbers above their medians. Now, of course, being in another crowded cycle doesn't mean you're doomed, but it means a sloppy application won't make the cut. If your application essays are vague, you're not going to survive. But if you are disciplined, if you can execute precisely on the LSAT, you can still win. So I want you to cut one thing that feels productive, but is not, like doing endless untimed drill sets, or rereading passages without structure, or rewriting essays without sharpening your thesis. You want to replace all of that with a precise LSAT study plan, like being able to map the passages, being able to bridge assumptions, having a one-sentence identity for your application, and a leverage-based law school list. You're not going to beat 76,000 other applicants by doing more, but you'll beat them by doing what works on purpose every single day.